So we're gonna be doing our first oil change on the M5 today. The last oil change on this was done, I think, about 2 years ago now, so it's definitely due for one, even though it only had 3,000 miles put on the car since the last oil change. So here we have the beast of the S62 engine. And why is this such an expensive oil change? And the answer is simple. This engine takes about 7 quarts or 7 liters of oil. It also uses a 10W60, which is not easy to find and not cheap at all. In fact, if you use what I guess OEM BMW oil, as you can see on the cap, that will be an oil made by Castrol. It's a Castrol Edge synthetic, and it goes for about, I don't know, 13 to 16 bucks a quart, depending on where you get it. I'm going to be using liquid moly instead, which is just as good, and it's a little bit cheaper, but I still spent about 75 bucks on oil. And I am going to be using an OEM oil filter as well, and that runs about $22 from the dealer. So all in all, it's shy of $100 to get this oil changed, and that's not counting labor, of course. I'm doing this myself, but you gotta factor in that time. And one of the good things about this car is that even though it has, you know, all these plastic covers, of course, for aerodynamics and everything else, it does have a little trap door, you can see here, and allows me to get to the oil drain plug, so I don't have to remove any of this like I have to on the Subaru to get the oil change, since the filter is, of course, on the engine bay, and this is the only thing I need access to down here. Let this drain here for a little while and get working on that filter. And this cap here is huge, so I don't have a socket to fit here. I have a 24 millimeter, and this is bigger. So I have a few things I'm going to try. Have my strap wrench, which will probably do it. Seems to be very tight in there, so plan B, channel lock pliers. So now I have access to the filter and get some bags in here so I don't make a mess. Oil looks pretty good. No milky colors or anything like that, which is a good thing. Same over here. I mean, this engine is really in good shape. Definitely feels like it, and the previous owner took very good care of this car, actually the previous 2 owners, and I have a lot of the service history, so hope I can get many more miles out of this. Oil is pretty much drained already, and all we gotta do is put this drain plug back. I do have a brand new crush washer that came with the oil filters. And that is 6 liters of oil so far. I understand the car takes, I guess depends on who you ask and what the manual says, but anywhere between 6.5 and 7.5 liters. I'm gonna tread careful here, since this is my first time, and I'm going to check the dipstick as I go. I don't want to overfill it. I'm gonna be putting some oil on the oil filter housing as well, so I'm leaving the last quart or container for the other side, and then I'll come back here. Just lubricate that gasket with a little bit of oil and put the cap back on. You don't want to get this too tight. I'm sure there's a torque spec for this like for everything else, but hand tight should be okay. And as you can see here, it's quite low, so I'm going to put a little bit more oil in it. And that's perfect. So it took pretty much 7 quarts. I would say maybe a little bit more. I have about maybe a quarter left of this 1 liter. So I guess every situation may be different. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, of course, but this is more or less what I was expected, between 6.5 and 7 liters, which is what I heard from most others. So now it's a matter of taking the car out for a test drive. Make sure I didn't leave anything in the engine bay. Everything looks clean. Let's close this thing. Very good to be driving on brand new oil. Call it placebo effect, peace of mind, whatever you like. There is always that good feeling when you have brand new oil on your engine and you take it out for a spin. You kind of feel like the engine is grateful for it, and that you are taking care of your car, which is always a good thing. So I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. Once again, thanks for watching. Please leave your comments below, and I will see you all on the next one.